The last thing I quickly want to show here is to illustrate that PathXL Tutor is not just about managing digital slides. Here we have a high-resolution macroscopic specimen of heart used by one of our medical schools using PathXL Tutor. As you can see, you can view this in the same viewer as the virtual slide, with the ability to navigate and zoom. And as with digital slides, you can annotate and capture images from this sample as already described. PathXL Tutor has the ability to view all sorts of images, including standard photomicrographs, x-rays, blood smears, microbiology scans, cytology, gross dissections, and of course histology and histopathology through virtual slides. PathXL Tutor is not just for viewing digital slides, but gives you a comprehensive environment for managing all sorts of multimedia and educational content, and presenting these in new and exciting ways. Here we see an example of how one medical school is using PathXL Tutor to teach histology and pathology. This page is about inflammatory bowel disease, with macroscopic images of a colectomy specimen, a description of that macroscopic sample, with detail of the underlying pathology of normal and abnormal mucosa. Under course creation, this can be configured in whatever way you require. The gross image can be viewed, again using the same viewer as virtual slides, and moved around and enlarged as necessary. Moving back to the overview page, you can see two dots on the specimen. These represent hotspots that allow the student to hyperlink through to the underlying histology of these regions. By clicking on the normal area, a virtual slide of that region is launched and can be viewed in its entirety, showing the structure of normal colorectal glands, and allowing the student, in this case, to compare this against abnormal inflammatory disease. This rich approach to learning enhances the student's understanding of disease in its broadest context, and gives you the flexibility to integrate media of all types: documents, PowerPoints, lab reports, x-rays, photomicrographs, and digital slides, in order to build powerful interactive materials for all types of pathology-based teaching. Let me finally show you one other aspect of PathXL that you will find useful. I'm going to click through to the Pathology Residence module on the course option list. Here you can see a list of prostate needle core biopsies with full clinical and pathological descriptions and associated virtual slides, showing how you can organize content and cases for educational and training requirements. There is also a pancreatic cancer case example. Rather than just being a single slide, there is the ability within PathXL Tutor to create cases which represent a number of slides. Here we have a panel of antibody stains encompassing PAS staining, MIB1, catenin B, C56, etc. You can wrap as many resources into a case as is required. This example is just digital slides, but again, these can be any image resources that characterize a specific case. If we launch the case from any of these thumbnails, the associated digital slide is called into the viewer. However, you will see that when multiple slides are associated with a case, these are also available to access from within the viewer. This removes the need to jump in and out of the viewer to look at the next slide. If we click on the carousel thumbnail, the slide is launched in the viewer. An important benefit of PathXL is also the ability to view slides side by side. By going to File and clicking on Split Screen, we can now select the slide that we wish to view alongside the current image. Let's go find this. Let's look at the catenin B stain. When we open this, the screen splits and the two slides can be viewed together. Here we can see the H&E and the catenin B immunohistochemistry. I can control these slides independently, or I can sync the slides using a single click on the sync button. Now, as I move one slide, the other moves in tandem. If I increase magnification on one slide, the other slide also increases to the same magnification and shows the same region of the slide. Currently, up to 4 slides can be opened simultaneously for concurrent review. This is an extremely useful approach to teaching comparative histology, the importance and comparison of different stains in histology, and for comparing different biomarkers, immunohistochemistry, DISH, FISH or SISH, in tissue and cellular pathology. Let me show you one other key feature of PathXL Tutor, an absolutely central feature to modern teaching using digital pathology. That is, the ability to set questions and run examinations on virtual slides. This can be used for self-assessment, class-based tests, or comprehensive examinations. I'm just going to log in and access the test as if I am a student. This launches the test, where we have the virtual slide viewer in the center, but now you can also see a multiple choice question in the lower panel. There are navigation buttons that allow you to move from one question to the next, or a drop-down list allows you to jump to a specific question in the test. In this simple example, we have only 4 questions. But there is no restriction to the number of questions you can set, the number of questions you can have on one slide, or you can even set questions on annotations or define questions on other resources such as gross pathology, photomicrographs, or radiological imagery. This is a cervical biopsy, and the question asks what the correct diagnosis is. The virtual slide is just the same as you have seen before, where the student can navigate the slide freely at any magnification, just as if they were looking at the real glass slide. In this question, the student has a number of multiple choice options that they can select from. As you will see later in the Tutor Wizard, setting these questions and their options is very straightforward, allowing tutors to set up tests in minutes. Once a selection is made and the student moves to the next question, that answer is stored centrally for that specific user ID and for that test question. The second question refers to another virtual slide, which again can be viewed in order to determine the diagnosis, and again an answer recorded and stored centrally. Moving on to the third question in the set shows a free text question, where rather than having options, the student or resident can enter free text. This can be in the form of a simple answer or alternatively a comprehensive description of the case with unlimited text. Let me write something in here. But as I do, you can see that the student always knows what question they are on and can always see the digital slide associated with that question. Moving into the fourth and final question in this set, we have an extended set of questions where it is possible to add more than one answer. Clicking on Next, given that there are no more questions, prompts the user that this is the end of the test. By clicking End, in this example, the student can then see that out of 4 questions, only 1 was correct. As you will see in the PathXL test configuration wizard, which I will show you later, The system allows you to define the right answers, and so automatic marking can be assigned. In this example, you might also be able to see that one question is still awaiting marking. That is the free text question. Other information in the panel describes the date the test started and the date the test ended. This result report is completely configurable. You can choose to provide the student with the mark, as you can see here. Alternatively, you can choose to provide the student with all of the questions, all of the correct answers, and specific feedback on each of the individual questions and why